What does the word homestead mean to you? Hey y'all, welcome back to Lantern Creek Farm. I'm going to start this conversation out with that question. What does a homestead mean to you? It's a simple question, but with so many different answers. And I'm not here to give you the definition of a homestead. I'm here to talk about what it actually takes to have a homestead and how it's so important to figure out what you want, what your needs are in your everyday life before you even start a homestead. And this is why I say that. Because I can't remember the statistics exactly, but I'm thinking that people who start a homestead in recent years, most of them only make it to about 5 years. Wow. Well, why is that? Let's talk about it. So why do homesteads make it just short few years? I think the major issue is burnout. This is a very easy job, because a homestead is a job, to get burned out on. But why do we get burned out? I think the number one reason we get burned out is because we want to put too much on our plates. We want to do all the things all at one time. And I think when people think of homestead, and this isn't the wrong answer, that it's growing your own food. But in order to have a successful homestead, we need to do this in small increments. We need to do one thing at a time, not many things at one time. Here's the thing. A lot of times people are go big or go home people. And we tend to naturally put more things on our plate than we need to. So yes, start your homestead. But in the first year, do you need a dairy cow or a dairy goat and 100 chickens and 100 layers and a hog or 2 or 3? Do you need a full-size garden that you're going to have to can all summer long, along with tending to all those animals? The answer is no. The answer is no. And the reason why is because having too much on your plate causes major burnout. And major burnout leads to giving up and quitting because you're overwhelmed and you can no longer do it anymore. We live in a world that accepts questionable practices around food. And I know that the more we look into that, the more down the rabbit hole we go. And the more we want to produce for our own. But my advice to you is to not start out all at one time. Perfect one thing at a time. Learn from your mistakes one thing at a time. Because the truth of the matter is, are we even learning if we're not making mistakes? But if we make those mistakes and we're trying to learn all of these skills all at one time in a very short period of time, and we keep making these mistakes and keep making these mistakes, it's going to seem like the whole thing is a mistake, that we can't do it. And you can do it. You can. And I'm here to encourage you and to tell you and to let you know that you can do it. You just have to pace yourself. You have to work on each thing at a time. You have to perfect these skills. And if something becomes too much for you, get rid of it. Don't keep it anymore. Change it up. You can come back to it later on. Nobody says that you can't come back to it later on. So, come back to it later on if it's too much. As the old saying goes, a jack of all trades is a master of none. So what does that mean? That means that somebody that knows everything or thinks they know everything doesn't know anything. Is the Bible. It speaks in the verse. I'm not going to try to say it exactly the way it is. Couldn't even tell you what verse it is, but I've heard it time and time again. A man who thinks he knows everything knows nothing. And I don't say this to discourage you. What I'm saying is I encourage you to master the skills that you need for a lifestyle of self-sufficiency. I encourage you to make those mistakes and learn from them. I encourage you to do things little by little, small steps. And the reason why I am encouraging you to do this is so that you don't get burned out and so that your homestead lasts longer than a couple years. Because I have heard many people talk about this, and I just recently seen a video from a fellow homesteader talking about burnout and how he's had a hard time with burnout. And I don't know if it's in his case, but I think a lot of times burnout comes when we put too much pressure on ourselves, when we're trying to do too many things at one time. And it's not necessarily, a bad thing to stay busy. It's when that busyness becomes our lives, when that busyness takes over. Well, guys, I hope this video was encouraging. I hope it was helpful. I try my best to just be encouraging to people. I don't want to make anybody mad or hurt anybody's feelings. I just want to encourage. So I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you enjoyed hanging out, and hopefully we can see you on the next one. We'll see you later. Bye.